나 생각보다 그렇게 착하지 않아 너뿐이라고 거짓말한 건
Thank you to today's sponsor, Skillshare. Hi everyone, it's Amanda. It's already time for my May plan with me. I think this one came by really fast because I posted April's late. As I mentioned in the last few plan with me's, which is where I feel like I check in with you guys and give you life updates, things have been so hectic. I was in Dallas, Texas for a planner convention, which was really fun because we had our own ShopARL booth. And then also we've been preparing for a fun ShopARL launch. We are launching new tote bags and other fun types of bags. By the time this video goes up, I'm not sure if it's going to be announced yet, but if it is, I'll put the official pictures up here. I'm glad to be back in my own office and have a little bit of time for bullet journaling. For this month's bullet journal setup, I honestly had zero idea what I was going to do for the theme going into it. I don't know, May kind of snuck up on me a little bit. Anyway, I went into this thinking that I was going to do a completely different theme, and then as I sat down at my desk, staring at the empty page, a sudden stroke of inspiration hit me and I was like, Amanda, why are you making things so complicated? The answer is right in front of you. I've been spending so much time preparing for the new ShopARL bag collection, which I've been talking about for ages. That bag at the beginning you guys saw is actually a part of the collection. And over the past year, but especially within the past few months, I feel like I've consumed so much information about bags and purses, like watching so many videos about what people like in purses and bags, what people carry, materials for bags, shapes of bags. It's just been all consuming in my brain, and I was like, why not turn that into a theme? Some of my favorite videos that people make are what's in my bag or what's in my purse videos. I think it's so cute that we just want to show everyone like what's in our little cute purse, you know? It's just so girlhood to me and I love it. I guess other people enjoy it as well because somehow this genre of content has lasted through the ever-changing trends of the internet. I remember making what's in my purse videos like 10 years ago on YouTube, and the fact that it's still a thing now is so cute to me. Obviously, it's a little bit of a different style, but I think it's fun that we all just want to see the little knickknacks and doodads in each other's bags. All that to say, for this cover page, I drew out the items that were actually inside my bag and I laid them out on the page as if I was taking like a little what's in my bag video or a flat lay picture, and I think it turned out so cute. Since I do art as a job, sometimes I do feel that pressure to be more creative or come up with better, cooler, newer ideas, and sometimes the answer is just simple and you just need to look around you. So I think this was one of those moments where I was able to find inspiration and creativity in the daily little things, and I think that made this theme extra special and personal to me. On the topic of doing art as a job, this is the perfect time for me to talk about my brand new Skillshare class that just came out. If any of you don't know what Skillshare is, it's the largest online learning community and there's thousands of classes taught by industry pros, and any of you OG Lil Doodles will already know that I actually have a couple of classes on Skillshare already from a while back. It's been like half a decade since I launched those classes. I've built a business since then, and that's actually what I touch on in this new class that I just launched. It's a really quick rapid fire class, 12 minutes, broken up into 3 different lessons, but I think it's really dense with a lot of information. I share tips for creatives in business and honestly just what I've learned along the way through 11 years of doing all of this. I know I might be a little bit biased, but I think it's worth a listen, especially if any of you are struggling a bit with your creative journey. So if you do want to check out my brand new class or any of the thousands of other classes on Skillshare, you can use my link. The first 500 people to use it will get 1 month free, and of course that includes access to my new class. As you can see, when I was drawing each of the items, I would literally have them in real life as a reference in front of me, which also was good drawing and sketching practice because drawing something from a 3D reference in real life is definitely very different from drawing something from a 2D image reference that's already flat. So this was fun for me, and I don't know, I just really have been enjoying the more sketchy illustration themes lately because it brings me back to my doodling roots. I'm low-key using this theme as an excuse to share some of my favorite products and things with you guys, which is why I drew some of them in extreme detail because I wanted to show you guys the exact products that I've been loving. For example, the Say Beauty lip glosses and the Byredo perfumes are things that I actually use and have been loving lately. And of course, my little Miffy plush keychain that I got from Japan, I put it on every single one of my purses. The only thing that I drew that I don't actually own or have are the glasses that I'm currently drawing. And that's because I'm manifesting that I will own them soon. They are the Gentle Monster collab with Jenny and they're coming out soon, and I am praying that I can get my hands on them because I think they're so cute. The little clips that you can add in. I love. So I hope this becomes a reality and that these will actually be in my bag soon. I'm also really curious to know what you guys carry in your purses. Like, what are your bag essentials? And I think that'll be really cute if people recreate this theme and actually show what you carry, because I feel like it says a lot about a person. If there's one thing that I always carry in any of my bags, no matter what, it is Aquaphor. I'm an Aquaphor girly through and through. I've been using it for years and it is the only lip balm I will ever use. I swear by it. Now that I've talked about all of my favorite things, I'll talk about the actual process of drawing these. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I was just sketching the items that were in front of me, but I did use a pencil beforehand to kind of map out the placement and size of the objects. I also used quite a thin fine liner for this. I think it was 0.05 or something like that. And that was just because I was drawing pretty small and I wanted it to be extremely detailed. And I think a trick for drawing items like this, if you like this illustrative style, is that drawing smaller makes it look so much better because you can kind of scribble out the details and it'll still look good from afar. So that's why I opted for the thin fine liner. And you can also see I added that little grid paper behind. It's just because I liked the grid aesthetic of it. Everything was kind of lined up and symmetrical, and I also liked the warmness of the paper. And then to color in the items, I actually opted to use gouache paints, which you guys know I've been loving lately. I did dilute the paint with quite a lot of water to give it a bit more of a wash effect and not too bold of a color, so I guess I kind of used it a little bit like watercolor paints. One of the reasons why I opted for the gouache paints was because I liked the variation in the color. I didn't want it to look too flat and too cartoonish, I guess, so the variation in the paints, like where you see the water buildup or the darker pigment, kind of makes it look a little bit like shading or a bit more realistic without any effort, and I think it also adds to that illustrative style. And I actually went in over top of it after the paints with color pencils as well to add even more movement and texture. At this point in the process, I was honestly really enjoying myself and really liking the way that everything was turning out. It felt like my items were coming to life, and I just got really focused and zoned in drawing this. I think the finished cover page is so cute and fun. I love the way it turned out. On the other side of the spread, I wanted to do a mini half-page calendar spread. I didn't do a full monthly calendar spread this month, and I actually didn't do a lot of full spreads this month, simply just because of my bandwidth and how busy I've been and how I've been using my bullet journal. You'll see later what I mean about the spreads, but I do still kind of like having a monthly dashboard overview with a calendar that I can kind of look over. So I glued on the grid paper again. I did have a different idea at first, but then I didn't really like how it turned out, so instead I crumpled this blank piece of paper as if it was like a little piece of paper or note that was at the bottom of my purse, and then I flattened it out and I drew out the calendar on that and then stuck that on the page. I was really proud of myself for this idea because it's definitely realistic. Personally, I have so many little receipts or papers at the bottom of my purse and I have no idea where they show up from, but for some reason, they're always in there. And I also really liked it because it meant that I can just use pretty simple lettering styles and box styles for this theme, and just add doodles of the purse items if I want to go a little bit more doodly. But in general, the actual theme and spreads itself were pretty easy to draw and create. Now, you're gonna see soon that I didn't make as many spreads as I normally do for this particular bullet journal setup, and that's just because of how my planning system has evolved recently. A lot of the things that I'm busy with involved teams, so we kind of have to use digital planning systems like Notion so that we can communicate different tasks between the teams and everything. So I definitely use my bullet journal a little bit more for my own personal tasks and planning, and then I also use it for things like writing my thoughts, journaling, diary entries, stuff like that. I think the way in which I use my bullet journal has evolved, and that's totally okay. For example, for my weekly spreads, you'll see I always like to just have a section for my appointments and events. That has not changed, but then I have a rolling to-do list, and then instead of doing a full monthly habit tracker or mood tracker, I just kind of put it on this week. And that just makes the stress and pressure of tracking your habits all month a little bit less, because it has been a bit harder for me to keep up with tracking habits lately. So I think doing it on a weekly basis is great. Doing this sort of module setup actually reminded me of our digital planner, because we actually have modular widgets that we use as stickers for the digital doodle planner, and it includes these mini trackers and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Here is where you'll see the little weekly habit tracker that I was talking about. So I just have a bar with 7 different boxes to fill in for each habit, and then I'll just color it in throughout the week as I do them. And then around the top, I drew out some more of those purse items. I think of that TikTok audio where Kelsey was like, I have purse. So every time I say purse, that's what I think of. And you're gonna see me sketch out a little bit of a sneak peek of another style of tote bag that is gonna be coming out with the new collection. But you'll have to just use the sketch as the sneak peek. I'm not gonna show you guys the real thing, but just know that it's one of my favorite things. Also, I drew some of the more non-functional items that I sometimes carry with me in my bag, like Sunny Angels. If you guys have also become addicted to opening up blind boxes and Sunny's Angels, please let me know in the comments. I love it. I love that everyone is obsessed with these little babies. I think it's so cute. At my core, I'm a trinket girl, and I have been since I was a child, so blind boxes and cute little plushies and things like that becoming more and more popular recently just make my heart so happy. I also drew other things like jewelry and books and makeup that I've been loving, and finished decorating the spread like that. Oh, that empty space on the right side is where I usually write a little journal entry or check in on how I feel about the week at the end of it, and it's been a nice little exercise for me to keep up with journaling. And then at the bottom, I wrote out a quote. I mean, not really a quote, but it's something that me and my friends have just been saying, which is, I'm just a girl. And it's kind of like a joke. You know, whenever you have a minor inconvenience and you're just like, I'm just a girl, like how am I supposed to deal with all of this? I know I don't need to add a disclaimer, but just so that people don't misinterpret it, it's a joke. Me and my friends are very grateful for a lot of things, but it's kind of a little thing that we've adopted from the internet that we say all the time. And I also added a song that I've been obsessed with at the bottom that kind of goes with these vibes, which is Sabrina Carpenter's new song, Espresso. It's a bop. I have been putting it on repeat. It's so good. Finishing off this spread by coloring in all of the little purse items with my gouache paints, as well as the final wash of color pencil at the end. And that's the only 2 spreads that I set up at the beginning of May. Again, as I mentioned, I know it's not as many spreads as I normally do, but I kind of like this very efficient style of bullet journaling currently, just having everything that I need on this little 2-page spread. And it's been working for me so far. I don't know what else to tell ya. I'm really happy that I listened to my creative spark and went with this theme, because drawing these purse items was so fun for me, and also just opening up a spread and seeing all of my favorite real life things that I use is so cute to me. I don't know why. It just feels very personal. And now let me pack up my real life bag with all of the exact things that I drew for this bullet journal setup. Alright, little doodles, here's the final flip through of my May 2024 bullet journal setup. I hope you enjoyed watching me make these spreads and watch me yap about various things as usual. Okay, talk to you in the next one. Keep doodling, bye!